Hey folks, welcome back to Keith's Vision. This will be my final. We've done about a year and a half, and I'm going to be nursing my wife through knee surgery and everything else, so I'm going to need to be focused on that. And to those of you that have been there from the beginning, when GCD blessed me with the opening of this podcast and the ability to do it and help me through it, appreciate you greatly. I will still be out on all my social media accounts, just like I am now. No changes there. And who knows, I may post a video every now and then on one of those social medias. You never know. But family first, as my partner says. And let's get into this. We got a lot to cover this week, and a lot of noise. A lot of noise. Our lovely, lovely, lovely Senator Chucky Schumer. Hang on, you have to do Schumer right. You got to do Chucky Schumer where you're looking over your glasses because you got to look down at everybody. He's going to close the government. He's threatening it anyway, and everybody's all freaking out. Dinesh D'Souza put a real nice post out that kind of identified the beauty of it. He's basically going to be shutting down the government. Non-essential workers will be out of work until the government opens back up. The key word, non-essential. That will give Trump a list of people that don't really belong because they're non-essential. So Chucky's opening them up for that. So we'll see how the left does with this, because it's going to land on them. We'll cover a little bit of that. Let's get on with this. So in a month, we're going to see Easter. And I came across this meme where the two chosen dudes, you got Peter and the other disciple, and they race to the tomb. And the other disciple says, I won. And Peter says, who's even going to know? And he says, everyone will know. So that's John 20, verse 3 and 4. So Peter and the other disciple started for the tomb. Both were running, but the other disciple outran Peter and reached the tomb first. Poor Peter. Don't we all have a little bit of Peter in us? So here's the Chucky Schumer deal that I was talking about. So February 29 of last year, Chucky Schumer was all happy. This Senate has passed the bill to keep the government open, right? Continuing resolution, a CR, like they keep talking about. Just keep funding the government until we get a actual bill going on. So, and now the bill heads to the President Biden's desk. He's all proud. And then he's reverting back to blaming Republicans for what could have happened. Even a partial shutdown by extreme House Republicans would have threatened services for moms and kids, hurt our veterans, hurt farmers, home buyers, and so much more. The list goes on. Then this week, flip, when the hard right says they want a shutdown, they're saying they want VA closures, no food inspections, frozen nutrition programs for women, infants, children, delayed military benefits, and so much more. It's the same resolution. They're just getting more approval to continue to spend money. That's all. But no, Chucky's, he loves that microphone and those glasses on the nose, on the tip of his nose. It's going to be an interesting coming week as we get into this, because he's bound and determined to shut the government down to prove that the right is hard right, but it's going to land on the Democrats because they're seeing it. Even John Fetterman is accepting that, and he plans to vote for it, not against it like Chuck. So I've seen a lot of posts going on out there, one thing and the other, and this verse kind of popped up in my head while I was reading one of the verses, where people could land on not choosing, right? Well, if I don't choose God, then I can't be wrong. I'm not choosing the devil. I'm just not going to choose God. So what's he going to do? I didn't know. Well, I'm sorry. Psalms 97, verse 6. The heavens declare his righteousness, and all the peoples see his glory. All see his glory, right? So when you are up there at the great white throne of judgment, you're not going to have an excuse of, I didn't know, because you've already seen the heavens. All right, so trending. We've already had a flip in the trending, as everybody knows. This was already flipped, but the biggie that I wanted to hit on is SCOTUS, right? That's our Supreme Court of the United States. We've talked in the last couple of shows about U.S. Constitution, Article 2, which gives the president his power. The judges have no play on the field. They can throw a yellow flag if they wish, but these judges are acting like they're actually presidential, which is going against what Chuck Schumer and the left are saying, which they claim Elon is trying to be president. So are they trying to shut down Elon, or are you trying to shut down President Trump? Yes. So here from Amuse, this was about 7 hours ago, Lawfare. Each day we're seeing more and more Democrat-appointed judges use their power to obstruct and resist the president's mandate. SCOTUS needs to rein in these activist judges. Not so sure that that's going to happen, but we will see. SCOTUS has a fear factor because they don't want to be doxxed. And I think Amy Coney Barrett has a fear factor for that same very reason. She doesn't want her or her family being affected because the left play dirty, as we've seen. So here from Patriot Lady 5 hours ago, this is another federal activist judge who blocked President Trump's cuts to DEI teacher training. When is SCOTUS going to put a stop to these judges interfering with President Trump's Article 2 rights? Then she puts down here, boom, Article 2 of the Constitution states, the executive power shall be vested in a president of the United States of America. No court may take over that role. No court may define or limit the scope of the duties of an official of the executive office of the president. Not in the U.S. That's the kind of court you have going on in Israel. Israel writes the laws, makes the laws, and runs the government. That's why Bibi wanted judicial reform. Get it back in the hands of the executive. The judicial looks at the law and makes a decision, yes or no. They don't make law. This is what we have going on right now. So SCOTUS ruled, or SCOTUS unanimously ruled that the State Department can revoke anyone's visa at any time at their discretion. The era of accountability is finally here. This is true. Not only is it true, but where's the article here on Joe? Good old Joseph. So this was from Kevin M. Nelson, USA, on X. Spicer v. Biden was the most ingenious and consequential case regarding presidential authority to terminate employees of the executive branch. A strategic case that the plaintiffs knew they would ultimately lose resulted in SCOTUS deciding that the president, Biden at the time, had unlimited authority to fire anyone he wanted. Fast forward to 2025, and federal judges are blatantly ignoring this precedent in regard to Trump's terminations at various agencies. There is no way this judicial activism should stand in light of Spicer v. Biden. We have precedent that came down from SCOTUS, the highest court in the land. Let's just stop talking about it. I say President Trump moves on and lets these things pile up and let SCOTUS handle it when they bring it to SCOTUS. A lot of people are saying, SCOTUS should handle this. Well, if SCOTUS handles it, then they are acting like they are the executive branch. They need to have it brought to them. and then they will rule on it. So that's what's happening. The left are piling these on. So every single one of them has to have a case put together and sent on up through appeals. And then when appeals kicks it out, then they got to go to SCOTUS. And when they get to SCOTUS, then SCOTUS says, sorry, last week we told you guys can't do this. This is what we're running into. What do you do, right? What do you do? We just stay after it. What else do we have here on SCOTUS? Yeah, see, same thing here, Victoria on X. It's time for SCOTUS to step in and stop the rulings of these activist judges. Well, they can't just step in. That would be like what's going on in Israel. I think the executive branch needs to put together a plan that makes an umbrella statement that, sorry, you can bring everything you want, just put them in my inbox. I'll take them under advisement. So that was our trending a little bit ago. So you gotta love Congressman Tim Burchett, Republican in Tennessee. I wish he was from California, but we don't get those kind of people in California. So he filed legislation banning members of Congress and their families from trading stocks. Look it up yourself and follow it. You're going to need to, because you're going to need to know who's voting against it. And that would be the millionaires in Congress. HR 1908. And this guy is saying, pass it. This is Eric L. Daugherty. Oop, we got to go back there. So, Rothmus on X posting this. This shows how whacked out the hard left is. I'm going to use the hard left like Chucky Toomer, right? This is insanity. So when car theft got out of control in Chicago, rather than cracking down on thieves, this is from Rothmus, I will just read it verbatim, the retarded mayor decided to sue the automakers. If government is not protecting your life, liberty, and property, it is complicit in the crime and it must be removed. What? So here was a picture of Brandon Johnson, Democrat mayor. He says the failure to install basic auto theft prevention technology in these models is sheer negligence. And as a result, a city-wide and nationwide crime spree around automobile theft has been unfolding. Reminds me when I was a kid and my dad told me that they lost a case at their electric motor company of a aircraft technician, if I remember right, working on a crane and using their motor, our motor, Reuland Electric. And he dropped the motor on his foot that he was either taking to the crane or taking from the crane and crushed it. And he couldn't get anything out of workman's comp or anything else. And he ended up saying, I'm going to sue the electric motor company because their motor crushed my foot. And he won. This is how absurd our country has gotten. Dumb, just dumb. And yes, my reply, the laughing little baby. And then there's a lot of people that commented on this guy. This guy is such a train wreck. Even though the people of Chicago voted for him, I still feel bad for them. Well, you know, vote him out. Vote him out. We've all heard about the U.S.-Canada trade wars that are going on, right? Trump is in the process of attempting to convert our economy back to external trade, okay, or external income service instead of internal income service. Fair trade. If you charge me $1 for importing it to your country, I'm going to charge you $1 for importing into my country. He's just looking for fair trade because we're spending so much money on trade, it's ridiculous. Not to mention, I heard I think it was today, we're spending $200 billion in security protection for Canada. What are we getting out of that? Well, they're our neighbor to the north. So this guy, 5DME81, he's really kind of chiseling on Canada. Trump's energy dominance, drill baby drill, in the Gulf of Mexico or in America. I'm still getting used to that. Canada, you were in a losing battle. I am so sorry. I will show you what I am doing in the Gulf of America. I'm prepping 3 new sites and 19 new oil and gas wells that will give us 300,000 more barrels a day. While we become energy independent, we are putting hundreds of thousands of Americans to work over here. We are not going to need anything from Canada by the end of 2026. And he's right. There's a big trade imbalance between the two countries, and Trump is working on that. But Canada's got their feathers ruffled. So this guy, I won't play the video, but basically he's laying it out saying he's working on the projects right now. And that's what this guy does. On TikTok, he is Woody Subsea Explorer. This is what he does for a living. He plans this. So we're going to have the drill baby drill. And that's just in the Gulf of America. So let's move on. Oh, Stacey Abrams. Lordy, lordy, lordy. We keep hearing about the $2 billion that her NGO got, right? So Stacey Abrams admits the $2 billion Joe Biden's EPA gave her was used to buy votes of people in Georgia by purchasing them new appliances. You're talking about a laundry machine. That's a laundromat right there. Then MSNBC, or MSLSD actually, does their best to whitewash this, but can't hide the huge pile of fraudulent spending Abrams facilitated. I guess she sent this NGO up with $100, and the next thing you know, Joe Biden poured $2 billion into it, buying votes. She's now admitted it. So this case is going to be really interesting. So, Diamond and Silk. We start getting into Doge, one of my favorite topics. Love Doge. Straight up fraud. Doge also revealed that another $333 million was doled out in 3,095 loans between 2021 and 2022 to businesses whose owners are age 115 or older. You can find it on Trending Politics. It's dated March 10, only 3 days ago. The U.S. Department of Government Efficiency laid out a series of startling findings on Sunday showing the Biden-Harris administration granted hundreds of millions of dollars in government contracts to the unlikeliest of vendors, children. So you've got them at both ends of the spectrum. This is how much money that's just being sent right on out. It's ridiculous. So here we go with some more Doge, the fun of Doge. This is from Mario Nafal. Court unleashes Doge. Elon gets access to federal treasury data. Oh my God, he's going to steal my bank account. No, he has read access to all of this stuff. He can't make changes to it. He's running reports, and those reports go to our president. POTUS, like him or not, it goes to the president. Elon is just the messenger. And no, we don't get the messenger. Now, the left wants the messenger because he's giving Trump the information Trump needs to close the laundromats. And they're having a real problem with that because their kids' college tuition is going away. So Elon just scored another massive win. A federal judge has ruled that his Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, D-O-G-E, can access U.S. Treasury data, including federal salaries. Oh, yeah. Social Security info, right? Not money, info, and tax refunds. The plaintiffs tried to block it, claiming Doge had too much unchecked power, but the judge wasn't buying it. While he called the concerns understandable, he ruled there's no proof Elon plans to start leaking people's tax refunds or exposing government bloat without safeguards. True. Translation, Washington just lost another excuse to hide where your money is going. Elon, 1, bureaucracy, 0. And the source for that was from the Independent, and that was on March 7th. And the unions are not happy about that because they're involved in those laundromats as well. So let's jump on over to the EPA, our fellow brother Lee Zeldin. This was March 10. He gave an update. I'm canceling over 400 DEI and environmental justice grants across 9 grant programs totaling $1.7 billion, bringing the EPA's total savings to over $2 billion. This 4th round of EPA DOGE cuts was our biggest yet. Yeah, and my post, I voted for this. and then, of course, the meme with the media doing CPR on racism and Democrats blowing at the guy's mouth. DEI on racism. So there was one post in here. Here it is. This gets me, and it ought to get you. On DEI from Crazy Vibes, Biden and the Democrats squandered more than $1 trillion on DEI and indoctrination in just 4 years. That's $250 billion a year. We're only starting to understand the damage of to our society this effort caused. Now you think about this. We are upside down in income to expenses by $2 trillion. In one presidential term of 4 years, he spent half of that. Let that sink in. Count out how many zeros $1 trillion is. That's a lot. Yeah. Okay, and I'm going to put this back out there for all you folks. Policies4thepeople.com. I encourage you to go there, get yourself a user ID. It's no charge, and go searching for things that bother you in government that you would like to have a voice on. Read through the different articles, put your votes in there. The government is watching this. They want to know, what are the people wanting? This is this most simple way to get this information up to the top, is let them know, right? The only way to do it, you can do it through your state. If you're in California, it isn't going to go anywhere. It's going to go in the round circular file. So I visit this every couple of days to see what's running at the top by views. How many people are in there? This top one, remove farm from government and media. No pharma, right? No more, take this pill and you might have anal leakage and your blood might boil and your kidneys might blow up, but it's a small percentage of people, and don't take it if you're allergic to it. Those commercials you see. We're definitely in some really odd times, but I mean, we shouldn't have that going on. All right, so back down one, my life verse, and I think I've had this once before on my show. Galatians 2:20, I've been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. In the life which I now live in the faith, or the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. That's really the gospel wrapped up in one little verse, right? You're living by faith. You believe in Jesus. You've given your heart to him. It's all wrapped up real nicely in a single verse. Again, going back to what I mentioned earlier, the heavens declare, okay? Even if you don't make a choice, you're making a choice. You're going to choose either smoking by not choosing or intentionally choosing to not believe in God, or you can live non-smoking. Both are eternal, and you can't escape either one. Earth is preparing for a war. Heaven is preparing for a wedding. Choose your destination while you still can, right? Absolutely true. Then the QR code, for those of you that are watching the full version and not one of the shorts, that's the policies for the people. It'll take you right to that main page. And log in, get yourself an ID, get involved. We need more people out there that got their feet in the game. Second Amendment, as always, right? What are the four most important words in this? It's the last four. Shall not be infringed. No conditions, no nada, right? Red flag laws, all that, that's a no-no. And I know Trump has said he's interested in looking into that. Hey, you know what? None of us is perfect. So I'll just leave it at that. The help me sign, the biggie, right? Fingers up, thumb across the palm, fingers down. Look for that. Teach that. Teach that to family, the kids, all the trafficking that we're trying to get stopped. Just one individual throws this sign up there where somebody's paying attention, and we might have somebody saved. Tower Garden, as any of those of you have followed me for a year and a half now, grow your own lettuce. You can scan the QR code. Again, if you're following me on the full video. If not, you can reach it at kreuland.towergarden.com and grow your own veggies, lettuce, tomatoes, strawberries, you name it. And we grow ours inside with a light kit, and it's UV lights that run for 10, 12 hours, and the plants grow great. And it's lettuce like you've never tasted before. Anyway, thank you very much for being my audience, and those that are interested in following me, you can follow me on all my social media. Look forward to seeing you out there, and who knows, maybe I'll be back out doing this again. But my wife comes first. Thank you very much.